This is your host, Alana Burwell. Brave Girl Conversations is about brave girls of the past, brave girls of today, review some books I have read, and sometimes talk with friends and family about stuff. So let's go. Today's guests are Alyssa and Salma. Say hi.
Hi.
And they're going to tell us about college life on campus. Go ahead, you two.
Hi, I'm Alyssa. I'm 20, and I go to the University of Denver, and I'm studying biology on a pre-med track. And I'm Salma. I'm also 20, but I'm a junior here at the University of Denver, and I'm studying film production.
Cool. So, Alyssa, what are you looking forward to learning in biology and medicine?
What I'm looking forward to is, I'm trying to be a dermatologist, so my plans are to go to med school, at some point. And before that, my goal is to also get my master's in cellular and molecular biology.
Wow, that's very interesting. What is it like being a college student?
Being a college student is a lot of things. It's a lot of hard work, and it's really big on social life and fun activities, and just making relationships with people for the rest of your life.
Nice. And my final question for you is, how did you meet Salma?
Okay, so I met Salma through club gymnastics that we both were on the competition team last year, and our friendship just kind of grew from that. So that's how I met her.
Awesome. I also do gymnastics. So Salma, I hear you are a film major. I have a YouTube channel myself. Do you have any tips or tricks for me?
Well, first of all, that's really exciting that you have a YouTube channel. I love watching YouTube. Tips or tricks? Probably just to be yourself. That's my biggest tip.
Thanks. My second question for you is, have you made any movies, videos, etc.?
Funny you should mention that. I actually am making a movie right now for my capstone project, and it's called With Liberty and Justice for All.
Can you tell us more about this movie you're making?
Yeah, so it's actually about 3 black college students, and they're on a predominantly white campus, and it's set in 1975, and basically their goal throughout the movie is to create the first black student union on campus.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Question 3. Me and my mom are creatives. Do you do anything else rather than doing film?
Yeah, so I actually really like to draw. I haven't had that much time to do it in college because in college you're very busy, but I do love drawing, and then I also do graphic design.
Nice. Now, these are some questions for both of you. What type of things are you learning in college?
I guess in college you learn about being by yourself a lot. Like, becoming an adult is really the main thing, and how you balance that with your education. Sure. No, I think I agree with that completely. You learn how to be independent and live away from your parents, which is really scary at first. But once you learn how to do it, it's like, oh my gosh, like I've achieved this really cool thing. Like, yeah. And then I guess you just learn how to navigate relationships and friendships in your 20s. And it also helps, like, with both of us, since we are far away from home, to find, like, a group of people that you can rely on, so you don't feel, like, as homesick. Yeah. If you were just solely by yourself. But, yeah, making a lot of friends and, being in activities really do help. Yes, I agree.
Wow. Okay. Question 2. I'm a 9-year-old 3rd grader. What did you experience at my age?
This is a hard question. Yeah. I feel like it's been forever since I was 9. I'm trying to... I don't know. I guess I experienced... I don't know. This is a hard question. I have to think about this. I guess, like, distinct memories about 3rd grade, specifically with school. Like, I remember my teachers. I didn't like my 3rd grade teacher, actually, but I liked my friends. Loved her.
Aw, her name was Miss Hood at the time.
Cool.
And
She married.
yeah, she did get married. I forget what her last name is now. But yeah, she was Miss Hood, and it was around the time of the Harlem Shake.
Right.
And we all got to draw little faces of ourselves, and she put on a t-shirt and it said Hoodlum Shake.
That's so
Yeah,
cute.
I do remember that. And I also do remember being in both soccer and gymnastics. Yeah, that year was hectic. Yeah, sports, but yeah, that was my last year doing both, and I kind of had to pick
One or the other.
yeah, because it was becoming too much.
You picked the superior sport.
Yes, I did gymnastics all the way. That's awesome. Okay. How were you treated in elementary school as African American females, and has it changed in college? I mean, in elementary school, I feel like I wasn't really treated differently. At least in my school district, I didn't feel that way. But there wasn't really as much people, of color in my school district, and it's kind of the same here at the University of Denver. I mean, it's a little better than my school district growing up, but it's still not as predominant as some schools.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say in my experience, I guess I didn't, if people did treat me differently, I didn't notice because I was so young, and I just assumed, oh, we're all friends, you don't, well, I didn't really perceive, I guess, race when I was that young. But now when I'm older, I wouldn't say that I am treated badly or differently necessarily, but I am able to see the cultural differences between me and other people now. There is definitely cultural differences. Yeah.
That's very nice to know. Okay, final question. Do you two have any encouraging advice for the young listeners?
This is a good one. I would probably say, I know I told you this earlier to just be yourself, but I really want to emphasize that because it's really important. But on top of being yourself, not caring what anyone else thinks of you, because at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with yourself, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that is really important. And also to if you have your certain dreams and goals, don't let anyone stop you from achieving those.
Oh, and enjoy your childhood.
Yes.
Don't wish that you were older. Yeah, because then when you're older, you're gonna wish that you were a kid again.
Yeah, so it's not fun being an adult sometimes.
So yeah, enjoy your childhood.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Don't take it for granted.
That is some very good advice. It's time for our game. Today's game is Alpha Speed. Starting with A, go as fast as you can, back and forth, between the two of you, to think of as many words as you can. Whoever gets stuck is the loser. The winner is crowned the Queen of Words. You cannot pull words out of other words, and you cannot use homophones. The minimum characters is 4, like in the word food. After the game, we will say goodbye and end the show. Are you two ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Ready, set, go!
The letter is A. You can start, Alyssa.
Okay. Alpha. Apple. Can I say ant? Wait, no, it's a minimum of 4. Yeah, antler. Ooh, that's a good one. Why is this actually really hard? Oh, artist. That's a good one. That is a good one.
Nice.
Attract. Ooh. Attack. Abstract. Although. Wow. Ooh. Oh my gosh, why is this so hard? Atlas. Appendix.
Is that as fast as you can go?
Appendix is good one. English. Why can't I think of one? Altitude. There we go. I'm so going medical on you. Artery. Oh my gosh. Are you bio major? Academic. Away.
That's like a medical power-up.
Athlete.
I'm rooting for you, Salma. You can do it.
I said athlete. I got it. Thank you for your support. August. Oh my gosh. Why did I think of that? That's such good. Oh, April. Now you're looking around. You're like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh.
One A, not O.
Attendance. Astronaut. Damn, you got me. That was a good one. I'm like aerospace. After. Oh, wait. I can't say after. Oh, okay, rhyme. Alter. Oh. Transition. Ooh, I like that one. Arcade. Oh, that's a fun one. Alarm. Ooh. I just talked about fire alarms today, actually.
Stopping in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Armor.
1. It's alright. I'm counting both of you queen of words. Thank you for playing my game. Let's wrap this up.
It was fun. Yes. Had me thinking.
Well, thank you for joining me, Alyssa and Salma.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Let's stay in touch.
Of course.
Well, that's all we have for now. See you in another episode of the Alana Podcast, Brave Girl Conversations. See you next time. Today's book selection will be The Busy Life of Ernestine Buckminster. Let's listen in. The Busy Life of Ernestine Buckminster. Written by Linda Raven Laude. Illustrated by Suzanne Beatty. Each morning, while Ernestine ate breakfast and Nanny O'Dear prepared lunch, Ernestine's father zoomed out to work and called, "Live life to the fullest, Ern!" And each morning, Ernestine's mother zipped out to catch the bus and said, "Make every moment count, E." And each morning, Hugo from next door asked, "Ernestine, do you want to play after school?" But Ernestine never had time, because her busy, well-meaning parents had packed her after-school schedule. On Mondays, she sculpted with clay lumpkin. On Tuesdays, she did water ballet with Miss Goldfish. On Wednesdays, she knitted with Miss Pearl Stitchum. On Thursdays, she took tuba lessons with Mr. Oompa. Fridays, she yodeled with Little Old Lady Who. On Saturdays, she studied karate with Grandmaster Hiya. On Sundays, she practiced yoga with Guru Prakash Pretzel. Thank goodness the Buckmeisters had Nanny O'Dear to help Ernestine stay on schedule. Nanny made sure Ernestine got to all her classes, but sometimes they were too busy. Things got confused. When Mr. and Mrs. Buckmeister dashed home from work late one night, they noticed that Ernestine looked pale. Maybe she needed some face painting lessons.
said Mr. Buckmeister. Nanny, oh dear, just said, oh dear. On her way to lessons each day, Ernestine slowed down long enough to watch Hugo play in his yard. He flip-flopped on his trampoline, giddy up like a cowboy, and bounced his ball. One afternoon, Hugo shouted, "Look out!" as his ball sailed over the fence and landed in Ernestine's tuba. Whomp! Ernestine bounced the ball to Nanny and squealed, "Bounce it back!" "Oh dear," said Nanny, "it's time for tuba." Ernestine sighed and passed the ball back to Hugo. That night, Ernestine practiced yoga in bed. She inhaled, stared at her busy schedule. She exhaled and thought about Hugo and how he got to flip-flop and giddy up and bounce. Then Ernestine had an idea. The next afternoon, Ernestine announced, "Today, I scheduled something new." "But you have yodeling," said Nanny. "It's written on my... Have you seen my calendar? And where's my phone? Oh dear." Ernestine giddy up to cross the yard to the park. "Ernestine!" panted Nanny. "Now we'll be late for yodeling. Or is it knitting?" Ernestine reached the hilltop and flopped onto the grass, pulling Nanny down with her. "Oh dear," muttered Nanny. "Look!" Ernestine sang. Nanny stopped huffing and noticed the valley below. "My, the view's heavenly." "That cloud looks like a pineapple," said Ernestine. "No, a bunny." "Or whipped cream," suggested Nanny. Before long, they were imagining that they were tiny bugs and the world was huge. Then they were pioneers, building a twig fort. And Nanny showed Ernestine how to make a daisy crown. Meanwhile, little old lady Who called Miss Buckmeister to report that Ernestine had missed yodeling. Miss Buckmeister called Mr. Buckmeister. "It's not like Ernestine to get off schedule. I know she's with Nanny, but where could they be?" They tried to call Nanny Oh dear, but she didn't hear her phone. So the Buckmeisters set out to find their dog. "Have you seen Ernestine?" the Buckmeisters asked at noon class. Mrs. Stitchum replied without dropping a stitch. "Night 1, Pearl 2, sorry, I can't help you." Dash to karate. "Hiya," called the Buckmeisters. "Is Ernestine here?" Grandmaster Hiya answered, "No," with a flying twist. "Maybe she's at water ballet," called Miss Buckmeister. "Is Ernestine here?" The Buckmeisters zoomed to Clay Lumpkin's studio. There were lots of children sculpting, but no Ernestine. They rushed to yoga. "Is Ernestine here?" Guru Prakash Pretzel was meditating, and all he said was, "Om, Om, Om," wondered Mr. Buckmeister. "Om," said Mrs. Buckmeister. "Oompa, she must be at tuba." "You seen Ernestine?" Mrs. Buckmeister yelled over the blaring horns, but Mr. Oompa didn't hear a word. By the time they looked everywhere, the Buckmeisters were dazzled and frazzled. This is what poor Ernestine does every week, Mrs. Buckmeister panted. No wonder she always looks so pale, added Mr. Buckmeister. Then, off in the distance, they heard bubbles of laughter. The Buckmeisters trudged up the hill, and there was Ernestine, her cheeks as rosy as apples. Ernestine Marigold Buckmeister, called Mrs. Buckmeister. Where have you been? Oh dear, Nanny shuddered. Well, you see, right here, Ernestine squealed. It was my idea. We saw pictures in the clouds and rode down the hill and pretended we were bugs and then I was a princess. And I want to do it again. The Buckmeisters were stunned. I like taking lessons, but can I stop some of them? Pleaded Ernestine. How will you live life to the fullest without sculpting and swimming? Asked Mr. Buckmeister. Right? Mrs. Buckmeister agreed. And how will you make every moment count without yoga and yodeling? Like this, Ernestine said. Everyone inhale, then they exhale. My, the view is heavenly, said Mrs. Buckmeister. Since that day, Mrs. Buckmeister bites to and from work, has taken up gardening. Mr. Buckmeister tries to get home early once a week to build a treehouse. And Nanny Oh Dear has discovered the joy of flying kites. As for Ernestine, some afternoons she practices karate with Hugo. And sometimes she plays the tuba. And sometimes she just plays. The end.
Wasn't that a great story, friends? I give it a thumbs up. See you next time on the next book selection. Bye! It's the Alana podcast, Brave Girl Conversation.